Hi, friends, and welcome back. This is the end of the 6th week of the Play Along Journal series here on YouTube. If you have missed playing along so far, make sure to check out the playlist that has all the videos from the very beginning up until now. I am working through 2 art journals so that you can see every step of the way as I go along. On this flap here on the right side, I knew that I wanted some really fun interest as I open it up, so I took one of my master sheets that I had created, and I had just a little bit snippet left over, and I'm just gluing that onto the inside of the flap so that it fits right in, and I'm trimming off the edges so that it is flush with the sides. If you've been enjoying these videos so far, make sure that you are a subscriber so that you're following along and you can be notified when new videos come up. I'm replacing that mini paper clip that I had before. Those little paper clips are one of my favorite ways to add little embellishments onto your journal spreads. It's fun just to put a little spare piece of fabric or sari ribbon onto them to add a really fun texture to your pages. I'm wanting to put down a background texture pattern here, and it looks like I had a little bit of teal left on my sponge before, and I'm adding white. I think that I thought this would make more of a true teal-ish color, but in person it really looks more like a sky blue, and it's just not the color I was going for on this spread. And so I'm going to take more of that original darker color and messily go over where I went the first time around stenciling. I don't need it to be perfect, but I kind of want it to create an overlay of what I had already done. And this will also help to add dimension to those stencil marks. It's kind of fun to get kind of that double effect there, where you see some of the background ahead of time and other parts you don't. I'm also going to go over that master sheet area, that flap that I had added before, and this helps it to go into the background that I'm creating instead of just being a standalone piece off on its own. I added a few little pieces of washi tape across that flap. This serves a dual purpose. It will help to secure that as I go along, and as that flap gets opened and closed, it will stay better, but also it's a fun decorative thing. And so I added a little bit on the left side of the page as well. This just helps to even things out and to bring some of those elements from the right side to the left side also. I'm adding a few little dots with my Posca paint pen. This medium-sized Posca marker is the perfect size for little dots, I think. They are really easy to make, and you can just use the nib size there on the end. I'm pretty sure that I want to add this number sticker onto this page, and sometimes when you come across a spread, you can see pretty clearly in your mind's eye what you want to be adding. Other times it doesn't come as easily and we have to play around for a little bit. Although I know that I want that number sticker on the page, after putting it down, I realized that I do want to have some interest behind the sticker. That way it can help bring that the number a little bit more to life and not feel so flat on the page. I'm using some of my deli paper collage papers that I had done ahead of time, and I like to have these on hand so that I can just pull them from my stash. Of course, I could make those marks directly on the page and it would have a lot of the same appearance, but the thing is with that, you have to think about how your marking utensil will go over what you already have on the page. Plus, with this torn look, you kind of have those marks going in and out of the background and they're not so perfect. Rather than if I were just to mark directly on the page, I would probably make 2 complete whole lines rather than one of them being torn in half like you see there. So this just creates a little bit more intrigue and interest onto your pages. I sorted through more of my collage papers that I have on hand just to find something that's going to work on this page. I want to create interest, but I don't want things to be too overwhelming for the eye either. So it's it's fun to audition out different papers and just see what's going to work for you. Sometimes it pops out right at you, and other times you kind of have to keep working at it until things fall into place. If you have questions about the supplies that I use in my videos, make sure to check out the description below. I try to include the links for the items that I use if I know where they're from. Um, and that way it's easier for you to find the products yourself. Adding a little bit of that Stabilo all onto the page, and now just with a wet paintbrush, I'm going to grunge that up a little bit. Um, I I like this look a little bit better than just the clean white background. This helps everything to kind of flow into each other better. I went ahead and dried that a bit, and now I'm going to go ahead and put that number sticker on. Um, since I stuck it and unstuck it so many times, I am going to add that glue just to help that stick a little bit more. Plus, the stickers are not, they don't have the best adhesive on them. And so it helps to add that glue so that I am comfortable going forward that it will stay secure on the page. I'm trimming off that bottom portion there, and it looks like now I probably could have kept it going off of the edge, especially since on the back side of that paper I already have that fabric sticking out. It wouldn't have made much of a difference, but at the time I wanted to go ahead and trim it, so I'm just going with my gut instinct. I think it's always easier when we're looking back at our page, or if I'm watching a video like this of myself working, things that you could have done. They always say hindsight is 2020, but I think it's great to be able to trust our instincts as we're working, and I end up loving what I did. If I had taken all these thoughts that I'm getting now for what I could do with my spread, that almost would teach my mind to question my instincts instead of leaning into them. And I think that our artistic instincts are another thing that we have to strengthen, like any other muscle or creative energy. And so it helps if, as we go along, we can start to trust ourselves and to build those creative muscles. I love the underside of the flap that I did that has the great amount of interest because of that master sheet. I have a little scrap left over from that, and so I'm going to add that onto the top. I think it adds to the front side of the page without being too overwhelming, and so that is a fun thing to be able to tie in the underneath part to the part that you see on top. I'm using one of my stickers here, and I'm going to add that. I decided I wanted under that sheet of paper. That's often how I work. I see things after that I should have done or I wanted to do. And so you can either find a way to make that work or go forward and find a different way to do something. Often, if you had just put that glue down, you can still lift that back up and gently place that piece under. Adding a little bit of Stabilo all around that sticker just to grunge it into the background a little bit, and gonna finish off that flap with a few Posca paint dots, and that way it ties into the background. I hope that you guys enjoyed the spread today, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a good one.